How would I attack the Minnesota Vikings offense? Jesus. This will be everything that you won't see on Monday night. But here goes. The biggest question mark on the Philadelphia Eagles football team is not Jalen Hurts. It's your D coordinator. Okay? I don't think that coordinator's good enough to stop Justin Jefferson. I do not. He doesn't believe in pressure. Kirk Cousins can't take pressure. You're going against a D coordinator that doesn't bring pressure. So all of a sudden, he's going to come out of who he's been the last 19 games and beat Buddy Ryan Monday night. Really? I want to see it. I want to see it. Okay? I want to see it. $4K with 17 games is only 235 yards per game. Very doable. We'll see. He was 3,100 last year in 16. We'll see. Got another 1,000 yards to go. Okay? Another 1,000. We're going to have to win in spite of the defensive calls. Joseph, I think that's going to be a tough one. I do. Before I get into week 2 of the season, I want to do this. And I wrote these 2 things down here. How would I attack the Minnesota Vikings offense? Jesus. This will be everything that you won't see on Monday night. But here goes. I put a 50 front on these guys. Who's the most important person you have to stop, in your opinion, Monday night when it comes to the Vikings? Who do you think is the most important person you got to stop? I'll give you guys a couple suggestions here. Who do you think is the most important person you have to stop? You clowned Wentz for losing to Jacksonville with a playoff spot on the line. I did. I never said he's elite. Okay? Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Cousins, no doubt Jefferson. I think it's Dalvin Cook. I think you got to stop the run game. You were gashed in that game by the Lions. You were gashed. First down, they were gaining 8, 9, 10 yards a play. Barrett's been saying this since I met him. Dude, they're not very good on first down. I mean, chunk yards against the Eagles. This is a 19-game trend. This is nothing that changed in week 1 from week 8 of last year or week 2 of last year. It's the same. You have not shown me you're effective with your scheme on first down. The key to a great defense is winning first down. It's not winning third down. You want most teams in third and long. Why? Because that reduces your playbook for the offensive team to 18%. When you're 3rd and 3, you have 73% of your playbook open to converting that first down. When you're 3rd and 6 to 9 to 10, you go from 18% down to 11% when it's 3rd and 9. I get to use 11% of my playbook on 3rd and 9. And you take those plays that you see on film and you strategize how you're going to defend them. That's why the bad teams are always in 3rd and long. Jalen was on a bad team Sunday. Here's why. How many times were the Eagles in 3rd and long that he saved the day? That was a bad performance. Not by him. O-line couldn't pass protect. Not by him. Not by him. What was it, 10 times? 3rd and long, 3rd and 12? Jesus, criminy. That's a drop-back quarterback who's not an elite guy. Sam Darnold murdered. The Lions would have beat that team 44-10 if Jalen doesn't break out like that and keep the drives extended. Okay? I mean, dude. So here's what's – when you attack that offense and you got a guy like Cousins and you got a guy like Cook and you got Jefferson, you have the 3 components to move the chains and being a versatile offense. You got a 4,500. Here, what's the number here on him? I wrote it down. Here. Let me show you something here about Kirk Cousins. Do you know in the last, let me see here. This is over the last 5 years. No, this is his Minnesota career. He's 34-29-1. Agreed, needs to be better. He averages 4,200 passing yards and 25 touchdowns with a quarterback rating of 103.7. That's elite. 103.7 since he's been in Minnesota. 4,200 passing yards. 25 interceptions to 7 picks. His entire 5 years in Minnesota. That's elite, friends. That's not dog shit. You'd be hard-pressed to find very many teams with not with the names of Brady and Rodgers that can duplicate that number. I agree. The number of wins is not there. But you're making it sound like everybody wins in this league. It's not true. It's been Brady and Mahomes. They've been the dominant ones. You got to stop the run. Okay? You got to stop that run. One of the biggest priorities that Jonathan Gannon has to do, there's 2 of them. You have got to stop the run, and my God almighty, man, you cannot play soft coverages on that passing attack. Okay? Didn't he lose to Cooper Rush in prime time? Who gives a shit about last year? They just annihilated the Packers. Give me a break. I don't care. Didn't Jalen not beat anybody that mattered last year? Honestly, you want to go there? Jalen Hurts did not have a good season last year, my guys. He didn't. That's not an NFL quarterback in what he did a year ago. They want more. You all want more. You said it. That season he had a year ago, Tyrod Taylor. That wasn't elite. Not even near good. It's fair. I give a grade on Jalen's year, C+. Yeah, and Cousins had the least amount of interceptions of all starting quarterbacks with over 450 attempts last year. The entire offense had the least amount of turnovers. It wasn't because of him. You talking like Cousins sucks, and you haven't had but one 4,000-yard passer, and this guy's done it 6 of the last 9 years. You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts, man. You don't know what good quarterbacking looks like. What he did on Monday, I said it and I tweeted it. He won't beat elite teams with that kind of performance, where your quarterback goes for 17 carries, and he's more effective running the ball than throwing it. AJ had 155. So what? It was 38-35 also. Great. You had one player show up and play well. The other guy saved your ass. The rest of them? So if you're going to attack this offense, press coverage. You got to press them. You got to get guys over the top to help deep third too. You can't let Justin Jefferson run around in the middle of the pile and in the middle of the field like you allowed some of those nobody wide receivers in Detroit to do. He'll eat the hell out of you, man. Okay? Packers wide receivers dropped a ton of passes. Go watch the film. I don't give a shit. Again, that comes off like the guys who always say this. I hear Bayless do this. Well, last night, Mahomes threw 2 passes that the Charger guys should have caught. They should have been picks. Yeah, but they weren't. Talk to me about reality, not what should have or might happen or what should have happened. That has nothing to do with anything. Zero. Well, they drop passes. And it's called football. People drop passes. People throw passes to other players. People get sacked. It's football. There should have been 2 picks for Mahomes last night. How do you look at a game and do that? There wasn't. Well, the kid Samuel had him in his hands. Great. Did he catch him? No. Well, no one cares then. Okay? No one cares. Well, this should have happened. You grade a guy in a bell curve on what should have happened? Good night. That offense got to stop the run. Everything is dictated in that running attack with that passing attack because play action's there. And you've got to move, in my opinion, Hassan Reddick around, line him up over the nose. And I'm not saying put his hand in the dirt, but do some creative stunts in the middle that makes that old line have to have their head on a swivel. You got the talent. Move him around and give him freedom to be able to make that decision himself. Where do you think you should pass rush? Put it in the player's hand. Because Jonathan Gannon, having the player in his hand, it's not working. Here's the greatest example of that. Junior Seau is a great example. Do you know what Ron Rivera used to do with him when he was the D coordinator in San Diego when the Chargers were there? They compromised the integrity of the defense because Junior was so dynamic. He would break down the complete structure. He used to drive Rodney Harrison nuts. And when they got to New England, it drove him nuts and it drove Belichick nuts. Junior Seau drove Belichick nuts because Junior Seau would do this. He'd take himself completely out of the play. But because that guy was such a freakazoid and such a great player, this guy would run 50 yards down the field and get the guy. And you're like, shit, you let him play. But you got to have faith in your players to do that. You got to have faith that those guys can make that kind of decision-making process when you're out there on the field. I'll tell you something about the Eagle organization, man. They don't believe in a lot of each other's faith. GM doesn't trust anybody. He's got to be in every meeting. The D coordinator believes more in the scheme than the players. Dude, you got to put the game in the hands of the players, not the hands of the coaches. When you're a coach in the NFL, when Sunday comes, you need to get the hell out of the way. You need to get the hell out of the way. Let the players get out there and play. I would give Reddick as much freedom, and I would do what Barrett said. I'd line him up in a 50 front, and I'd put him over the nose, Jordan Davis or Fletcher. Do you know what you do when you do that? You don't allow the guards and the centers of the Vikings to get up and scrape and scoop up on the linebackers and the free and strong safety. It's almost like a fail-safe. That's how you defend it. If you got guys who aren't playing good against the run, put them in a scheme where it's fail-safe. But that means you got to trust Bradbury and Slay on Thielen and also Jefferson. You got to be able to trust those guys. And that guy, the way he plays back, he doesn't. He believes in everything underneath. Okay? A quarterback in an offense like that will throw for 500 yards. Okay? They will. And the reason they could throw for 500 yards, it's not just because of Jefferson's great talent. it's also because of Dalvin Cook. I think he's the key in this whole thing. Big picking, 50 front does even things up. And it's a fail-safe on first down, which the Eagles have lost for the last 19 games. I'm trying to put you in a position to defend this team. You got to have a little blind faith, though, if you're the coaches. The cornerback play on Monday night's game is going to be essential, along with first down play. Because first down, if you have him in 2nd and 8, and you have that quarterback in 2nd and 8, you're ahead of the sticks. And you got the Viking offense on their heels. If they're 3rd and 3, they got you on your heels. That is going to be something to keep an eye on when Monday comes. If the Vikings are consistently in 3rd and 3 or under 3rd and 5, that's going to be a long night, man. And if the Eagles, and see, I'm telling you to do something he'll never do. He'll line them up in a 43. He'll put Reddick in a position where he'll underperform. You won't get to the passer, and there'll be troubles. Eagles have to control the game early. Agreed. Okay? Cook gives that play-action threat. He does. That's what got the Lions back in the game. Sweat had what? 14 carries or 17 carries for 144 yards? He had 10 yards a pop almost, 9-6. That created play action in those lanes in the secondary, and exactly what Barrett said. There's too many new faces in the room. This will be the 5th quarter. Let me put this out there to you guys. This will be the 5th quarter that unit on Monday night will play together as a team. You think that's a lot of reps? They probably had, 65 reps as a unit? You're trying to tell me with 5 new starting faces, with only 65 reps, I'm not talking about practice. I'm not talking about those organized teams, whatever. Didn't do anything for them. Barely got them ready. They're healthy. Okay. Fair enough. But that team's probably only played 63 plays together? Man, that ain't enough against a team that's got that kind of talent to spend together for a full year. More than full year. Jefferson and Cousins are going on year 3. Thielen and Cousins and Jefferson are going on year 3. Dalvin Cook and Cousins and Jefferson and Thielen are going on year 3. You're going against an experienced offensive attack on Monday night. A team that's been together, throwing the ball together for 3 years. You got a football team that's been together for 65 plays on defense. You got to keep that in perspective. Like I told you, guys, I personally think the Eagles, I think that defense is probably going to be really good by week 9. When they get all their reps in. I'm not saying they're going to lose ball games. All of them, they're not. Elijah, thank you for coming aboard. Appreciate it. Guys, please hit the like button. Vikings have no offensive line? That's not what I saw a year ago. They had no turnovers. They were the least turnover team in the National Football League offensively last year. I don't know. You say there's no O-line? I don't think they're as good as the Lions O-line. The Lions O-line was banged up. Center was banged up. Tackle was banged up. And you were missing a guard. And they still pushed the Eagles around. Sills, their D got a lot of new faces also. You think they're going to... Jeremiah, that's a great take. Anytime that you add new faces to a team and you start adding multiple faces to a starting unit, you're going to have communication issues, especially when you don't practice. Helmets and shorts, not good enough. Drawing it up on a chalkboard, okay, that works a little bit. It does. Yeah, that's when you got Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians in the building. Not training wheel coaches. You know, people go, well, Brady went down to Tampa and won a Super Bowl on a Zoom conference call. Yeah, Brady, Arians, who's got 3 rings himself, being a coordinator in Pittsburgh. I mean, he was probably in Pittsburgh with Barrett. I mean, right? And you got Byron Leftwich, who's going to be a head football. He was offered the Jags job. He didn't want it because he didn't want Trent Baalke in the building. You got a lot of good coaches there. You got a former player, too, and Leftwich as the OC. Our D-line has no time. It's 5-yard. Hey, Jesse goes, Sills, would you hire Fangio or Flores? I'd hire Brian Flores. I like Brian Flores. I really do. So, press those guys. The pressure on Monday night's going to be on the corners and the front triangle. You've got to win first down, and you've got to press the wideouts. Or that thing's going to look like a track meet in some of those games we saw a year ago with high percentages.